My new toy has arrived. It's arrived. It's arrived, honey. It's here.
I know. I'm trying to find it.
It's here. My new Rokon in the box.
I don't want you to get dust on it.
Yeah, she doesn't want to get my bike all dusty before I get it all muddy. But we're going to unpack it. Who knows what we'll be doing with this thing. If you read my book, it's my second one. They're awesome machines. I love them. All right, anyway, here we go. It was a wonderful day, a lot of work. Had to put the thing together and all the extra stuff for it, which is all important as well. That pallet was heavy. That's the heaviest pallet I've ever seen. But the pallet and the cardboard all had to go to the dumpster, and you know, cleaning up things so everybody can fit in the house again. Still have company. Got the Rokon back together, put on the hand guards and the toolkit and the bumper tow and the trailer. Took about 3 hours. Honestly, it was not too hard, but it was a lot of work, especially when it's 100+ degrees out here. So that was a little rough. Yeah, man, I could not be happier with this machine. I can't wait to take it out because I know what the other one did, and this one's going to be way better. Just incredible machines. Not just, you know, I don't get paid for this. It's free advertising. So we're going to film this thing and then I'm going to store it. So yeah, it's awesome. We'll see it in a couple days on the trail. I bet it tears it up for sure. Well, so just a little thing about the trail breaker. I'm not going to do a whole bunch. You can find a whole bunch of really good videos on YouTube. Dave Canterbury did a really good one on this trailer setup. I've never used this trailer before. I used to have an old garden trailer. And again, if you read my book, I have a couple of stories related to this machine with Bigfoot's actually playing with it and trying to start it and playing with the trailer and a whole bunch of really cool stuff. But I won't get into that. This is the first maiden voyage of this one. I'm really impressed with the upgrades. My old one I think was a 2006. This one is a 2022, brand new one. Took it straight out of the crate. Followed the directions, got everything upgraded. I'm sure I'm going to have to tighten up the chains a little bit. But I know what these machines can do. I've really put them through the test, and I'm a big fan of them. They're not paying me for advertisements or anything. This one came from Midnight Rokon in Salt Lake City. A guy named Donnie, who was awesome to deal with, because we had an unfortunate thing with some of my gear with our trailer, and it was really looking dire for my hunting season. And I was looking at hauling a giant bull elk out of this stuff by myself in the blazing heat before it melted, along with the bear tag as well. And that's just not mathematically possible. I don't care how good you are, you're not going to get that out of there before it's spoiled. So I'm hoping I can haul out a third or a half of an elk on the trailer here, and get it out of here and get it in the freezer in the back of my trucker. Usually I have a freezer in the back of the truck just for that. So, because I do hunt archery, I don't really do rifle season too much anymore just because of scheduling, but it gets really hot and that meat spoils incredibly fast out here. But I'll just walk you guys through before we go out there. You're going to be on my chest because I can't fit the head mount on my helmet, and I haven't had time to really do the adhesive little sticker thing on the front there. So I'll show you this, and then we got a boogie. It's kind of wanting to rain a little bit, and this time of year it'll just pour on you for 20 minutes, get you soaking wet, and then turn blazes hot again. So anyway, let's get on with this. All right, check this thing out. If you're really serious about some outdoor stuff and you don't mind getting put in the dirt trying to learn how to ride this thing, it is a beast. It is not a motocross bike. It doesn't have much of a suspension because it's chain driven on front and rear. It's got a simple Kohler 7 horsepower motor, like a lawnmower, that's easy to repair in the field. Most of the stuff on here you can repair with just a couple of wrenches and a screwdriver. My other one, I actually even jerry-rigged the chain. I had a chain snap on a really bad road, and I actually jerry-rigged it with a piece of baling wire that I took off of a fence, and it got me home. So they are tanks. They are not pretty. I think they're really cool, but and they've done so many upgrades. They have an electric fan on them now to cool them, which my old one did not. They upgraded the mud flap on the front, which was a big problem. My other one, it used to kick a lot of mud up into the engine here. I actually had one that was actually making dirt clods inside the clutch because there was so much mud in there. And the only time really that it ever failed me, aside from that chain snapping, was when it got so cold the thing froze, literally froze standing up in the middle of the road. And that's the only time it ever let me down. It works great in snow up to about, I say 24, 26 inches. I've really put it through the test on that, so we'll be doing some ice fishing with that. This is a really cool upgrade they did with their trailer. Look at that hitch, that's awesome. It follows you wherever you go, and I just pulled it around the neighborhood. We're gonna see how it goes today. This is just a test. That plastic thing, I've actually got my hunting pack in there, and the chainsaw is bungee corded on top because we got some trails we have to clear. Last year there was so much wind blowing down there, it was really affecting the animals. So we're going to try to clear a couple trails and not get rained on. So this one here, like I said, has the electric start. I also like this little 12-volt thing right here, which I may use later because I realized I didn't really have my Garmin. Well, I had it charged, but I left it on, and I don't come out in these areas without my Garmin in case something bad happens. So I will be wearing that on my person at all times for my wife and for myself. And also, I'm wearing sunblock, dear. I put it on. You just don't see it. It's invisible, but I did. Anyway, let's see how she does. I think it's going to be just fine. I just got to have to relearn how to run it again because, man, I was good on my last one. So, awesome machine. Enough of the commercial. But anyway, shout out to Donnie at Midnight Rokon. Thanks, Donnie. Good job. Let's hit the trail. Now you're on my chest from here on, so everything else is boob view. Here we go. awesome. Yeah, I'm getting the rain a little bit. I didn't bring my gear, so I gotta get cooled off anyway because it is hot out here. All right. I'd say that passed the test pretty good. Bushes. I'm gonna retain my key here. There's nobody out here, but I'm just a little paranoid and I really like my machine, so we'll leave it with that. All right. Okay. All right, now we're gonna clear some bushes out of here. The last few years there's been so many windstorms knocking these trees down. They kind of stopped moving through here because they had to jump over trees all the time. So we're going to help them out a little bit. Here we go. As they walk down the trail. Attaboy. Oh. That one's definitely gotta go. Okay, so got some smudges on you. So as I was saying down there, we have no water down here. It is bone dry, and it's about a month and a half early for that, maybe even 2 months. So it's going to be a very dry hunt unless we get some big storms rolling through. So my initial idea where I was going to put cameras has changed a little bit. I'm going to be dispersing a couple more cameras on some areas that I know maintain water, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully nobody steals the cameras. I don't like to go in those areas because there's usually too many people and they steal gear, and I've lost some cameras up here. So anyway, Rokon's doing great, chainsaw is doing great. So far so good. We just got to turn around, find some water, and change a battery. See you on the trail. Okay, this is my first option. There's usually running water coming out of this, and it's barely a trickle. You have to come down there to get water though, because it's the only water that's here so far. Problem is with a bow, there's no place to hide. But yeah, slim pickings. I'm going to do a little heart-to-heart with all you guys, those of you who are watching, which probably isn't very many. But, you know, I wrote my book, which some of you have read. It's been really, really well received. I appreciate you guys' support. You're awesome. I put my heart and soul into that book. Honestly, I didn't even want to release it to the public. It was mainly for my family's consumption. I wasn't even going to have it printed. I was just going to give them all a digital copy, you know, just the Word document and be done with it. But everybody that read it kept saying, you should share this, you should share this, so I did. Can't say I really care for my publisher much. They've done almost nothing for me. But everybody that's read the book has asked for book number 2. Now that my strength and more importantly, my mental strength is returning, I'm considering doing a number 2, but you got to realize that right now, I'm way in the negative on this book. I've done lectures. I have traveled all over the place, done all kinds of crazy things, and missed my wife and things that you would do in your normal life. And right now, it's for no reason. So please go to my website, bigfootoftherockies.com. There's a link there. You can buy the book directly, or if you're local or whatever, or if you hear of me lecturing, you know, you get a discount there too. There's a bookstore in my town where I live in Castle Rock. It's called Sudden Fiction. They carry my book, as does the Sasquatch Outpost. Jim Myers, good friend of mine. He has been to most of the places in that book. He has had experiences in all of them. In fact, I'm going to be camping with him next weekend for the Bigfoot Adventure Weekend, which I've done. This is my 3rd year. But you know, for people that love the subject, I understand the you know, the lure of the stories, because that's where it's right. That's where everybody wants to know, right? I get that. I really do. But really, what people don't want to tell you, especially the people that make a lot of money off of scaring you, is that on a whole, Bigfoots aren't mean. They are not aggressive. They are not hateful. They've been around you a lot. If you spend any time out here like I have, they have been around you for years and years and years, and they never even let you know they were there. I have had them yell at me. I've had them scream in my face. I've had them pee on me. I've had them do incredible, miserable things that I thought, I'll never get out of this alive. But then again, I've thought that many times now. So, you know, if you're out there wherever you guys live and you're looking for these things, just know they all have personalities. Some are playful. Some are jokers. Some of them are really nice. Some of them are really mean. The mean ones are kind of fun, though. Once you get that, they still don't necessarily want to kill you. You may think they do. You may think that they're going to rip you limb from limb. I have been there numerous times. And your average person hearing this off the street that doesn't know about this stuff will roll their eyes and be like, this guy's a Looney Tune. And to that I just say, grab a sleeping bag and come with me and I'll show it to you. But that's just, it's their defense mechanism. We are very scary creatures out here. We are the dominant species on this planet. We pretty much kill and destroy everything we touch, unless you're conscious about what you do. And when you are, they like you. Now, if someone's like, oh, you just rode that bike through the woods. Well, if you do the math, that bike leaves less of a footprint than you do with your shoes. So just think about that for a minute. It's all about area, math. It's not my strong side, but it's all math. Same thing with Bigfoot. The bigger they are, the harder they are to track. You think, oh, I'd see this huge foot. No. They float. They float over the top of the surface of the ground. They disperse their weight and they leave you nothing. I'm going to be teaching a class on tracking next week about this, which I thoroughly enjoy with my friend Kenny Collins. He's a rock star as far as this stuff goes on, and me and him have worked on many projects together. I really enjoy my time with him, and Alan McGargle and Jesse and all those guys. So that's all going to be next week. That's the BAW. I did it last year, and again I got sick before I could produce it. So maybe I'll do a hodgepodge of last year and this year. This year I'm going to do some reconnaissance for Jim and everybody else with the bike. Trying to find more remote places we don't know about. He said that their last trip up there, they had them throwing rocks at their horses and screaming at the tents, which I totally believe that. They love horses. Kind of surprised they're throwing rocks and stuff at the horses, but maybe they were just trying to get their attention. I doubt they were very big. But you know, anyway, that's my lowdown on that. Most of you don't even know who I am. Whatever. But I've been in this now. This is coming up on, I think, my, what is it? Good Lord, I can't even remember now. It's been 18 years, I think. 18 years I've been doing this. I've had more encounters than I can even remember. It's funny, I start telling one story and then I remember, oh my God, here's another one. And then that's the beauty, you know, really on my own selfish side of writing the books, is that as you write these things down, you start to notice patterns and behaviors, and they're rock solid and repeatable over and over and over again. But until you really write them down, they're really subtle. And until you really write them down and look at them, then you start to pick it up. I'm back again. I went back to get the rest of my meal ready, and I had a thought. So I did record this last year with the dogs. Unfortunately, had the fire going, there wasn't enough lighting, so I'm just basically talking in the dark. So, interesting thing about this campsite. If you, can't remember the author's name, but if you read the book, The Mysterious Valley, it is all about the cattle mutilations and UFO abductions and stuff like that. One of the mutilations that's in this book happened right here at this campsite, which kind of freaks me out being here by myself, but I'm getting used to it. The other thing is that the last 2 years that we've been at this particular campsite, or has it been 3? We've had some really aggressive activity with what I'm almost 100% certain is a Sasquatch or a family of them. The first night we came up here, it's been 3 or 4 years ago. I'd have to look at my pictures. But my wife and I were camped just just a couple hundred yards that way. Dennis and his family were camped right here. And my wife doesn't get unnerved very easy, and something hit the camper so hard we thought it damaged the camper. It was almost like a vehicle or a bull, or I mean like a Brahma bull or something had rammed us. It was very aggressive. And then we both laid in the bed and listened to this thing play with the sewer pipe from the trailer for probably 2 hours. I thought maybe it was just a really big bear. I've seen some huge bears up here. I've seen mountain lions and everything else up here. Maybe a moose walked right through our camp last year, missed my mom by 10 feet. Yeah, that thing just hit so hard, and I got up in the morning thinking I was going to see a torn up trailer and a ruined sewer hose and all this stuff, and then nothing happened. And I thought, well, maybe it was just the trailer shifting, but then Dennis and his family had the exact same thing happen. And we kind of wrote it off, and some other weird things, I won't get into details, some other weird things that happened a couple weeks later, because we were here for a long time. Last year I stayed up here the entire month of September. This year I'll be just 2 weeks. But anyway, me and my buddy Brian left the hunting camp, and that night Dennis and his sons again had the same kind of thing where it's like rocking the camper. I think that had to have been the year before last. Yeah, because I don't know, there's so many of these things happening. But anyway, that did happen. And then last year I warned some campers that happened to be up here. I had my camera set, as I said, me and the dogs set everything up here, and they were ATVing on some of the trails, and I politely asked them, which they were totally cool. I said, please don't drive up there. I'm trying to hunt that. I've been putting cameras out here for over a month. And they were totally good about that. And I was just really worried because people, when they run into Sasquatch and they have these encounters, they tend to do some really dumb things. And it's better if they're forewarned before. It's better for them. It's better for the Squatches. It's better for everybody. So I had to go through a really long, it was probably a 4-hour contemplation with my dad. And if you read my book, he wasn't quite sure about this stuff until it happened to him. And I said, I know they're up here. And they don't like, well, I don't know if he doesn't like them up here or if he just likes to mess with people. I'm not sure where that comes from, because he screamed at me a couple years ago up here too. But anyway, I warned these campers. I said, they like to mess with these campers that are parked in this specific spot over here. So if they do, don't do anything aggressive and don't be stupid. And they kind of laughed at me, and no, they all laughed at me. It's probably about 30 people, which I'm used to that. But the next morning when they were all leaving, the guy who was camped where I exactly warned them that happens. He said, oh my God, something hit my camper so hard last night, and I woke up and my front door was open. So take that as it may, but that happened right behind me. So there's your little story, I suppose. Hopefully that entertained you guys. Let's hope we have some really cool stuff on the game camera. Maybe a Squatch would be really awesome. I've never actually, I mean, caught pieces of them, but I've never got a real one. But we get a lot of moose and some big mountain lions up here. I had a mountain lion ruin my hunt just a couple years ago, chasing the elk that I was trying to shoot. So it's a vicious place up here. This is not a place for like leisure hikers. They will eat you. So anyway, have a great night. We'll see you in the morning, bright and early, because we got to go skedaddle, put our cameras up, and skedaddle, pack everything up, and then go over and see our friends. So, yep. I'm glad you can be here. I wish you could sit right here and just see what I'm saying. It's awesome. Thanks for being here. Put it up here and hide it behind this little tree here. Hopefully we can reach that. All right. Hopefully. There we go. Now we're in business. That should be about right. Get our camera out. Okay. Right, we made it. This is Brian's spot, but he won't be hunting with me this year. We got really good picks here last year, but with the water situation, I have no idea what we're gonna get. Only one way to find out. Put up another camera. Thing just tears up these woods. It's awesome. I couldn't have done that with my razor, that's for sure. The main purpose for doing this is not just to see if I can get in here, or to set the cameras. It's to get in here and know that I can reach it up here if I shoot something, to get it out before it spoils. That's the main purpose for all of this stuff. Oh, I need some water. Alright, last one. And away we go. Oh, like I'm gonna scratch the lens maybe, or is it just tree sap? I don't know. I usually keep these things in an old sock. I didn't bring them this time, and I probably should have. Oh well. Hopefully we'll still get some good pictures. Can't tell if it's coming off or not. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this adventure. Glad you could come along. Very impressed with my Rokon, of course. Been saying that all day long, but you got to get out here and try it. It's pretty awesome. Hopefully we'll get some cool pics for you guys to see, and it'll give me a lead for hunting season, and we won't have the problem that we did last year because the cameras didn't work after all that work. But definitely a game changer. Anyway, thanks for joining us, and stay squatchy, I guess. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But we'll be going out with Jim Myers and the Bigfoot Adventure Weekend in Bailey, Colorado next weekend. I'll be one of the guides. We'll try to get some footage there. It's usually a really good time. I recommend anybody that's interested to try it out. Alan and his wife and Jesse and everybody, they all do a great job of putting it together, and me and Kenny do our best to wrangle everybody up and try not to get anybody lost in the woods. So thanks for joining us. You're awesome. Have a wonderful day.